My Hero Academia. What took so fucking long to come back? Yes, I'm aware. The Olympics kind of fucked up the schedule, but this is just reminding me exactly how frustrating it was for the manga. How we got constant breaks and all this shit, and it was a nightmare essentially when this final war arc came out. So let's begin. Aside from the recap and being reminded about Dabi, yes, I still think that he shouldn't have gotten Shoto's fucking ability out of his fucking ass. But anyway, and then All for One's regeneration, all this and that. Something I really like about this beginning part in terms of how did Deku get to UA at the right time he needed to be is because all of the crew from Star and Stripe was there to assist Deku. They basically were doing the thing that Deku had done back in season 1, where they just can't stand in the sides anymore. I think a specific character from a different anime can sum up the exact feelings that probably these pilots, these amazing goats, had in mind.
I know Mr. Rengoku ordered me to stay back, but I just can't any longer!
So yeah, that's how Deku got there faster, because if he had used the second user's ability, which we will get to, it would have damaged his equipment, so he would have been already nerfed against Shigaraki, which is already a problem, because Shigaraki is such a fucking nuisance. Anyway, yeah, we go back, showing the villain your fucking ass, I guess. And then Deku comes in for the attack, and yeah, we go back to a problem that has happened before. Deku loses his ever fucking mind. And here's the thing. The argument I've seen about this a while back was, well, Deku shouldn't have let his emotions get the best of him. That would have cost them everything in the last war. Here's the thing. Bakugo got hurt, and yeah, that triggered him. And if he got hurt again, I don't think he would have gotten triggered as he did right here. The fact that Bakugo was killed, his friend was killed. I think anger is besides the fucking point. And yes, this is a fictional story. The author did it how he wants it, whatever. But here's the thing. I can relate to Deku in the sense that it doesn't fucking matter if you're trying to overcome something and all this and that. Once you see someone die or someone be killed or find them dead, which I won't lie, I've had an actual experience about that. Everything is thrown out the window. Your mind just blanks out. And I get that from Deku. Yes, he shouldn't let himself get this overwhelmed, because obviously if he lets himself be fighting in rage, he will lose. However, the counter is that Deku is genuinely feeling a shit ton of pain. And I can sympathize with that because he wasn't there to help. He was thrown off guard by Toga, and just as he gets there to save Mirio and Genist and Edgeshot, like, he couldn't save Bakugo. He wasn't there. And obviously, All for One, because at this point, All for One is just controlling Shigaraki. All for One is just mocking him, saying, say it couldn't be helped, say it wasn't your fault. Like, okay, shut the fuck up, asshole. Anyway, yeah, so he's basically provoking him. And Lemillion, being the good hero he is, he talks some sense into Deku, and he's reminded, flashbacking back to important key events for Deku to kind of snap out of his anger, so that way he can properly fight Shigaraki / All for One. And yeah, we get a genuine fight, One for All versus All for One. Look, I'm just gonna say it outright. I hate that All for One is controlling Shigaraki. For the sake that Shigaraki is literally his own. Yeah, I get why he's doing this, but I feel like this entire thing of just, it's all for One. All for One is the big threat. He is the big boss. What was the point of My Villain Academia then? Propping up Shigaraki. What was the point of season 4 that showed Deku needed to step up to become like All Might, or the next All Might, and Shigaraki needed to step up to become the next All for One? That is my problem with this. Now, let's talk about the good thing, because I don't want y'all to think I hate this episode. Far from it. I think it's an 8. And it would have been a 4 for all these story beats, but it hits an 8 for one core reason. The fighting is actually fucking good. Like, Deku versus All For One controlling Shigaraki is so good. Yes, this version of Shigaraki is nerfed to shit again. Although, then again, his fucking mutation just makes him into a god-awful, annoying level boss. And yet, Deku is showing his intelligence by using all of the one-for-all quirks. Which, by the way, I'm kind of jumping around here, but Lemillion does kind of eventually figure out that, Shigaraki is being possessed. So he's not even in control of his body. So it kind of gives him also a hint, as well as the audience, if those that didn't get it clear, that All For One is taking over Shigaraki and is forcing the inner part of Shigaraki, the kid part, just deep inside to prevent him from taking control. But yeah, we got an actual big fight. We got all of the quirks being used together, and then we get like the one-for-all ultimate punch. But there's something I'd like to point out, and it's the second user's ability, Gear Shift. Now, why does second to gear, third to gear, and top gear remind me of? The wording is way too close to something. I can't point my finger on it.
Second gear! Bounce, man! Fourth gear, go! I call this form Tank Man, stop merging! Snake Man!
Yeah, okay, I'm fucking around. Anyway, yeah, One Piece. To be fair, the Oda and the My Hero author, like, they know each other. Horikoshi submitted a drawing of Smoker to Oda, which Oda eventually used when My Hero's manga ended, just to pay respects to the My Hero author, Horikoshi. So, you know, that's a little fun fact. But anyway, I'm just fucking around. The ability is extremely over fucking powered, and we do get a flashback to how that ability works when All For One had killed the second user, and the fact that he's seeing his brother and the second user thus piss him off. And then, as I said, Deku uses an ultimate punch that essentially is fucking brutal as hell. It is the literal one-for-all punch of all punches. And yeah, that breaks the ever-living shit out of All For One / Shigaraki. And yeah, this is probably more than enough to eventually free Shigaraki from, well, being controlled. But aside from that, we get a little teaser of Spinner in his giant-ass form before it ends. And that episode, look, that's going to be the weakest part of the entire final arc, but we'll get to it when we get to it. As for this episode, as I said, 8 out of 10. The fighting, the animation was the highlight of this episode.